Excellent connection.
I do not see that we're live, but there's also that buffer.
The timer
The
for 1 minute.
20-second delay thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, there we are. Sweet.
All right, yeah, we're good.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Stick nasty.
Fucking ads, Tyler. Already a goddamn ad on your live.
Really?
Yeah.
This is what I get for trying to make a little extra chump change.
Oh, not allowed.
Not allowed. Liquid death? It's no liquid death. Oh yeah, I see the delay now. All right, I'm gonna. Can you just monitor it on there?
Yeah.
All right. And Jimmy, if you want to monitor the comment section and stuff,
Yeah.
because if I have the window up on here, we're gonna be listening to ourselves 20 seconds ago, and that's
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
get
I'll watch it.
annoying quick. All right, cool. Well, hello from Ireland. Never been there. Want to be there someday, hopefully. Well, it is 5 in the afternoon on this lovely day, October 9th. Welcome all YouTube people to the Studio T Kilo 37 live Q&A chat. We have Jimmy here, we have Garrett, we have Josh, we have Will, and hopefully David, Mr. LT himself, will be joining us at some point as well. So yeah, it has been 3 years since the last week event, and it has been a little over 4 years since Jimmy has put on the non-fatigues. It's going to be a quite the treat. Jimmy, how was it being back in the saddle this summer?
It was definitely fun. It was kind of I didn't really know what to expect because, like I said, I've been out of the game for going on 3 years now with a handful of Bastogne events. So obviously, out of all the stuff we do together, Nam is always the hardest hitting style reenacting. Like we get really raw with Vietnam, and I mean, not to say that we don't take Bastogne lightly, but I mean, that's our main thing is Vietnam. So getting back into it, I was like, shit. But it was nice to be able to incorporate the stuff that I was been doing for the 3 years I've been gone and help make the unit better by using those things I've learned in the unit. Yeah. So I think it worked pretty well, actually.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think especially in the week footage from this year, you definitely see the difference from the prior ones, like the experience that you bring to the table, that I bring to the table, and that now Garrett brings to the table. And it's a very different atmosphere than it was 3 years ago for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Garrett, you froze.
Oh, god damn it.
His nose.
Yeah, his nose is taking too much to output.
Well, maybe he'll come back.
All the comments are coming on the side right here, so we won't have to monitor the actual channel, which is good.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
That's cool.
That'll be good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Jimmy, is your Wehrmacht tunic showing back there? I think that might have scared him away.
You can't really tell. There, it's being held by America uniform.
Garrett, it's okay. Come back.
You can come back now, Garrett. It's literally.
All right, safe. Sergeant Crocs, did you join the Marine Corps? Yes, I did 3 years ago. Jimmy did 4 years ago, and Garrett did 3 years ago.
Oh,
2 years ago.
Garrett's gone.
Yeah, no one listened to my heeds of warning I had for him. They decided to do it anyways.
But see, I learned a valuable lesson from you, and I went reserve, and just was like, yep, I'm all set with that active duty thing. Because
That
active
is-
duty means no reenacting,
That is true.
or less of reenacting.
Yep.
Oh, Garrett's back.
Yep, got disconnected. We're good.
Garrett, how long ago did you join the Marine Corps?
Like I joined in June of 2018, so 2 years ago.
Somebody was wondering if we joined the Marin Crops.
Nope.
I said, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we will,
You know,
when we spot them, we will pull questions from the live comment stream. But until we need those, we have a slew of other questions that have been sent in over the past couple days. And we will start with the first one, which is, how long did it take us to build the Firebase? And I don't know. I don't think I would consider it done even.
Still
Got a long way to go for sure.
5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Because when we started, it was just a pit in the field, surrounded by poison ivy.
I don't want to talk about it, man. Yeah, and then Josh and Garrett, you guys came in the following year and saw the base just out of its infancy. So,
yeah.
and it just kind of
Came a long way from then. And then
I think it's always going to continue to grow and continue to get better as we, get more financially, more financial resources, but
yeah,
also, our authenticity standards every year just get higher and higher. So we just keep on, trying to
There's
put more and more into it.
There's a VC in the chat. Long live the 27th Bing Boom Do Boom Dog. I'm expecting that's one of our adversaries.
it very well could be.
Luke Solo.
Luke Solo is our Bing Bong man.
Yeah. But to answer that, kind of go off that question a little bit better. I mean, we already have plans to expand to kind of fit the people we have now, so people aren't living in the slums and those bunkers that we have.
Yeah.
Plywood. Oh my god.
In their heyday, they were good, but I mean, now it's like you're going down to, like, I don't know.
Electric Avenue.
Yeah.
Well,
Falling apart. It's
started
literally
with
falling apart.
building with a
Yeah.
rotten wood to begin with.
When you're sleeping in a building, that's on an angle, that there's probably an issue.
Yeah.
When the
Exactly.
walls are caving in.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because, like, you guys probably remember, we were just joking about it this past year. It's like you have the high class neighborhood up by David's place, and it's like the middle class neighborhood where the swamp is,
And Section 8 over here.
like the ghetto is where you guys live, and it's like floods all the time.
Fucking wasps living in the walls.
And then this past event, you have me, the whatever, what are those people called? People that are always moving. That was me. I just set up a little lean-to shack that probably would have fallen down any sort of.
Lasted like 3 days.
Yeah, Jimmy, that thing's gone, by the way.
Yeah, no, I fully expected once rain to come, that thing would wipe out.
Like
It's
the
like
roof's
different
all
levels.
caved in, your beams are snapped.
I
It's all
totally
dilapidated
expected that to
snap
happen.
now.
It's all right. It's good.
It's basically different levels of homelessness.
Yeah.
Sergeant Crocs, I fucking hate vermin. They decided to move back in, but I haven't had a problem with them since last event. So
It's amazing though, because we thought that was going to be the final straw.
yeah,
You put like a
2-inch mortar down there.
We put a couple of them down. That was like probably about half a pound of explosives down there. Just, but nope, they came back.
But yeah, I would definitely say that the base is still not even done being built. It was like I said, we have plans to incorporate squad tents, to build the swamp as it was actually looked in the MASH show, so all the NCOs can live in there. And then, like I said, that troop tent can hold, what, 12, 13 people? So that would hold us over for now.
Yeah, and I mean,
More.
the other thing you got to think of is like during the war, and they were living in them constantly, but like they were just constant upkeep on these places. And the war only lasted so long, and they were only at certain locations for so long. So it's like, you know, this isn't ending anytime soon. So the upkeep is just never going to end.
Me
Yeah.
fight American
Fight
Yankees.
American
Home and
Yankees.
body
Send
bag.
home and body bag. What do you recommend for reenacting? Whatever floats your boat, man. Like, honestly, I think if you asked, and that we can pass that around the table here, I think everyone, or at least out of those that do multiple time periods, definitely have their own personal favorites and things. As we can see clearly between both mine and Jimmy's backgrounds, where it takes a special type, but
It all started with this right here. And then it went
Union Blue, baby.
that.
But yeah, it's kind of, you just kind of, if you're already a history nut, it's whatever piques your interest most. I would say start with that, because if you have the drive behind it, you're definitely going to go farther in that than doing something you're not quite as passionate about. Anything to add, lads, to that?
Yeah,
I mean-
I would also say like you gotta like don't jump around and just try to get into every impression at once. You gotta start with one, and then basically you gotta focus on that one, get everything together, start going out into the field, and then once you really find that passion, I think the other ones just kind of come. Because when I started, I had no intention of doing any other time periods than Civil War, and now now that's what I spend all my money on. So
Yeah, I pretty much started on Vietnam, but that kind of spiraled into a lot of different things. Like now we're doing everything from Viking to Soviet to Nam.
It's a lot. And to answer, Short Stack needs a mic. Thank you, Soggy Bottom Farm,
Executive producer.
our executive producer, ladies and gentlemen. How many impressions do I have? I think it's something like 11.
all
No,
of the
I take that
impressions.
back. I have 11 time periods.
Yeah.
It's like 20 something impressions, because like even just within World War II, it's like 5 or something, because there's like paratrooper, American infantry, Red Army, German, and then it gets split up even further, where you got like Bastogne, paratrooper, D-Day, and then same deal with like infantry.
And then even from there, you break it up. You can have an early war type thing, and then it obviously changes as you go throughout the war. Stuff looks different.
I wrote a list to myself some years ago of how many impressions I actually had, and it was just like a horrific amount. But
Not to mention our partisan.
yeah, not to
Kinda
mention,
span the different
yeah,
areas.
it's to simplify, it's a lot. And yes, I do still do Civil War. We just haven't had any events this year because #COVID.
Mhm.
All right. You want to pull another one, Tyler?
James on Instagram asked, were you when you started reenacting?
I was 13 when I started reenacting, and it was with the 28th Mass with Civil War. And I'm going on reenacting for 8-9 years now, and it is a hobby I wouldn't trade for the world.
When did we start? No.
Nam, we started, you, me, and David started in 2014. And then 2015 is when Jimmy and Nick Stone came on the team. And then it's the following year that we got everybody else.
So yeah, I basically started when I was like 12 with Nam, just because that was kind of.
And that was when we were in our infancy too.
Yeah, like I was wearing the nylon Y strap.
Oh,
it was awful.
It was a farbalicious, like, just, it was terrible back then. But you got to start somewhere, I suppose. And we weren't being very public back then, so it only mattered to us.
The American Reactor, yes, we are.
That's a long one. Is David here?
When did
Nope.
I started when I was, I think, 15. Because my first event was the 150th Gettysburg, like ever, and I had to lie about my age for the unit to accept me to go field a rifle. So I told them I was 16 when I was 15, and then ever since then I've been reenacting.
Yeah, I think I was 12 or 13. I joined the same year as the 150th Gettysburg, but like an event or two after that, doing the 28th Mass as well. So
Yeah. And most of us all started with Civil War or Vietnam, and then all the other impressions kind of filled in between.
And for those that started with Vietnam, like Josh, is quickly branching out.
Oh yeah.
And
Hopefully get World War II started.
Vietnam's definitely rising in popularity, and all the gear is increasing in price. So if you're thinking about getting into Nam, definitely start sooner than later.
Yeah.
Just collecting.
Yeah, because even stuff like Soviet is getting really expensive, and that used to be like you could go purchase a whole kit for Soviet and for under $200. Now it's getting up there to the price where like the uniforms themselves, if you're getting them repro, they're like around 150 for just a top, depending on who you're getting them from.
Yeah. And to answer a person's question, not even kidding. Yes, we will, or at least some of us will do proper World War II reenacting. Small,
Like join a
private,
unit.
small private events and things are always a good time, and plenty of like more established units definitely have them. But reason we haven't so far is just because none of us ever got attached to a real established unit. I just recently joined the USS Massachusetts Living History Group, so for now that's my proper World War II reenacting. And Jimmy was talking about joining a Wehrmacht unit that his buddy is in, like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
We have do you guys have problems doing German in the US? Here in Ireland, you cannot show any swastika or even as patches, as it is against the law and they are closed as unlawful organizations. Not really. You get plenty of people that just don't really, that get the wrong message from it and take it the wrong way, that'll get upset by it, but there's no like laws prohibiting it in the US because
I mean, any German we do, it's not SS. Normally, we're not like got a swastika armband or anything. It's VMR.
It's just standard.
That's so we have an enemy for the Americans to fight for the Russians.
And it's a you dive into VMR, it's a pretty interesting impression just to learn what it was like for the common German citizen and things like that. It's a very unexplored sector. So to move on to the questions we've collected, not to neglect all of you that are sending them in right now. Why didn't we have a week event in 2019?
Oof.
The short answer is I was deployed, Jimmy was deployed, and I'm usually the ones that organize these things. So that's pretty much why that didn't happen. But
plus, that's both our sergeants gone.
Yeah. No offense to David, but I've left it in his hands before. He just can't seem to manage to organize
even during the week event, this recent one, I was trying to get responses out of David, and then all it came down to was him getting really happy for me writing morning reports. Like that was, he was so happy that I was writing morning reports.
Dude, I remember he walked in at one point and he was like, it was at Labor Day actually. He was like, "Are you gonna do morning reports this weekend?" And I was like, No, I'm not. He's like, "Well, if you could, that'd be cool because I just, I miss waking up at like 6 a.m. and hearing just Jimmy rat-a-tat-tatting on the typewriter." I was like, "Yeah, David, I'm not doing that for you, sorry."
Yeah, no, I think he just was happy to have something to sign in the morning while he ate his SpaghettiOs or whatever.
You were his radio, and that's how he past the
Yep.
time in the morning.
Yep. Well, we had the nom radio going too.
Yeah, but that didn't go on until I woke up. I feel like he
Yeah.
was up way earlier than that.
Yeah, he
I guess
was.
this will be a quick question. Certain Crocs asked, where were you deployed to? This is kind of to Jimmy and Pilot.
I went to a push deployment to Okinawa and Greater Japan to do training with the Japanese military, and some parts were a good time. Got to spend New Year's in Tokyo, which was pretty cool. But I have no desire to go back, especially with the Marine Corps.
And
Don't go anywhere on the Marine Corps plan because they'll just fuck you over constantly.
And I went on a deployment from late October into April-ish timeframe to Afghanistan. So I was over in the Helmand province, out in Afghan. We were just mainly helping out the Afghan army over there, so we weren't really doing much.
Yeah, and
Going
Jimmy
back
and
to what
I-
I said earlier, taking that deployment knowledge and bringing it to Kilo is something that definitely makes us stand out from other units.
faux show. It's good to have good knowledge like that to bring to the table.
That's a good one. Are you guys gonna make a reenacting World War II Korean War video one of these days?
Well, we do have the Bastogne videos. What was the last time we did that? Was 2017?
Yeah.
Last time we made a video, yeah.
And I think those will kind of progress as our World War II unit gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, a lot of us can't really get an M1 Grand or anything. So
What it often comes down
That's
to
it.
Alright,
is just
Shut up,
money.
Jimmy. Fuck you.
And yeah. Where's your M14, bud? FYI.
I have my trench gun, so it's okay.
Right,
So
fuck-
it's okay. Yes, we were Clarkster, the Clarkster. That kind of goes into what we talked about earlier. The Firebase is an ongoing project, and I don't even know how much it probably cost to make.
a lot of it was scrap wood or wood we cut down. A lot of the sheet metal we already had. Most of the money went towards like the tarps over the bunkers, which even then it's $40 every couple of years.
Yeah,
I mean, the watchtower itself is held up by logs that we found in the woods.
Yeah,
It's
think
barely
those are
held up now.
an old cabin.
Yeah,
From
they
the
were.
old
A
cabin.
couple of them have asked to show off our flags.
My 55 flak is actually in the mail. It was supposed to come today, but I don't think it's coming today.
Mine's all the
had
way
it-
over there. I'm like boxed in right now.
Yeah, I had it sent out to go get plates installed, so it was supposed to
Are
come
you
back
going-
today, but I haven't seen it.
Did you go to that guy that's making repros or whatever?
Yeah, he just installed the plates for me because I already had
Oh,
a
nice.
flak, so I sent it out to him, and then he put the
Okay.
plates in, and then he's sending it back.
There it is. That is an M55 flak right there, 1968 dated. Thank you, Will.
I don't know why everyone gets so excited over 55 flaks. Like if somebody says like I have a Vietnam impression, they want let me see your 55 flak. Like that's the first thing they want to see.
It's like a Vietnam reenacting ID. So
Yeah.
you got your flak.
Yeah, you're not a real Vietnam reenactor until you have an M55 flak.
Yeah, Garrett actually doesn't do Vietnam reenacting because he doesn't have a flak yet. So
Well, he's our RO who likes to lose our radio antennas.
It's not lost. It's placed elsewhere.
it's placed else. It's in someone else's hands at the moment.
How did you come up
Unacquired.
with your rig structure? Jeez.
So
That's-
this
make a
was
mortar
something somebody
and type
sent in yesterday. Yeah, best way to make a mortar and best type of firework to use. I don't know. We have like a metal.
That's a question that David should answer
Yeah, but
Well, no,
David isn't here. So
I'm coming to easels.
because he makes some questionable things that I threw at the Vietcong, and I once I threw it at the event, I was like, that may seriously harm them, but then I just ran away.
well, you were probably on the berm anyway.
Yeah, well, no, I remember he's like, here, take this pipe bomb I made, and it didn't register that he said pipe bomb, so I lit it, and I was like, okay, yeah. And it was in my hand. I was like, wait a minute, that could have been really bad. And I was like, well, we'll see.
Most of what we use is like just, simple like 4th of July, you go out to the fireworks store and it's like 1-inch or 2-inch mortars. Or we're using like firecrackers and Roman candles.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this year, most of us have gotten into blank firing weapons. Like I've got a blank fire or live firing shotgun, just shooting blank.
That is the direction.
Then I got
Well,
this broke on me like 4 times.
Yeah, Josh is kind of screwed because an M60 is a long ways away.
Yeah, so give us money.
The John Shanahan asks, how did you come up with your rank structure? Is that like, how did we pick who is who, or is like, if we didn't invent corporals or sergeants around for a
Probably what he means by like why do we each have certain ranks and where they are and stuff.
Well, I guess the NCOs, like the head NCOs, were picked because of obviously we've been around the longest in Kilo, and Tyler and I, both ourselves being in the Marine Corps, so we can kind of take that knowledge and help use it. And then Will is our, I mean, he's been around since day one, so he's like the A/.
And that kind of just comes from experience. Like,
Yeah.
Plus,
So even though he doesn't have the
yeah,
military experience, he has the reenacting experience. He's been around long enough to know what the hell he needs.
yeah, that's and David got LT because initially when we were like, it was me, Will, David, and Jimmy. David was like, because he was the oldest out of people that actually like lived there, being him and Will. That's how he became sergeant, and then the rest of us were like buck privates. Jimmy started as like a corporal because he had like a really good understanding of like 20th century tactics and stuff at the time that I didn't necessarily have. And then as we grew, we just bumped David up to LT, and that's kind of where he's sat since then.
And at the rate we're going, he's probably going to be a captain at some point, and then one of us put to platoon commander, and then so on and so forth.
We're gonna need like double the numbers before that happens, though. And I mean, he makes such good decisions. Oh, speak of the devil, there he is. Just pulled in.
I got one question from that we collected.
Okay.
I mean, I have a couple actually. One was, how many impressions do you have? We kind of already answered that.
Yeah.
These two kind of go hand in hand. One is, how long have you all known each other, or how did you meet? And then another one's, how many years have you guys been doing the week event for? So, and then how many members do you have? So that, I feel like those all kind of combine. So at our, let me pull up the roster. So
Well,
at our peak, we have what? 1, 2, 3,
like 12.
currently on the roster, we have about 12,
13, 12, 13.
13. Yeah.
But at the week event for the week 2020, our peak was what, 8 or 9? That was out there at one given time.
Yeah.
But that's also, we had people leave and then people replaced them. So we could have had like 10, 11 people out there at once.
Yeah. And we started the week event in, David actually talks about the origin of it at the beginning of the 2017 week video. It basically, we have a perspective on the VC side for people that want to know things about the VC, because I know that's been a pressing question for a while. And LT's here.
Hi, David.
Hi,
David. Up to you.
Hey, Josh. Jimbo.
Hi.
Garrett.
Hi,
Everybody's here now. But yeah, we started the week event in 2015. That was me, Will, David, Jimmy, and
It was just us.
Just us. And then 2016 is when we got everybody else, and the Firebase grew a little bit. So yeah, about 5 years. Completed our first cycle this year, celebrating 1970.
Keith
Maybe
was
us at the
normally
first
there.
week event.
Like Keith was not here this week event.
Sadly,
because he's got college stuff.
Yeah, he had college things and work.
he didn't stop us from stupid.
Yeah, couldn't stop it.
But as far as how we all met, I think relatively we all met through the 28th for the most part.
Yep.
That I feel like that was kind of like the anchor that kind of introduced us all to one another, because obviously I met Tyler through the 28th back in what 2015, 2016.
Nope. I met because the living history event we did right after Gettysburg was when I met you at that Jackson Homestead thing.
Yeah. So
that was in
was
2015.
Jesus. All right.
I've
So
known
that
you
was
for
7 years.
God, math. 8 years, 7 years.
7 years. Yeah. So then from there, Garrett joined, and then we talked him into doing it. And then and then everyone else kind of just fell into the 28th.
Yep, we got Nick through the 28th. We
Yeah.
got Garrett 28th.
Keith and I went to high school together, so that's how we got Keith.
Yep.
We got Josh because his dad is the unit, like it was his unit when he was in Vietnam, so we were the ones that attributed it to him. But he was in the 28th, so I guess still the 28th.
Through the 28th again, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
I met
actually,
you guys at an event down in Virginia.
Yeah, he was at Cedar Creek.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was so funny because Donnie, like, was so proud that you were there. He was. I remember he was going up to all of us, and he was like, "That's my son. That's my son over there." And I was just like, I just see this scrawny, like 8-year-old looking kid, and I was like, "Nice, dude." But it was like he was
Just a
so
skeleton walking across.
yeah. I was like, he was so proud that you were there, and that was my first Josh sighting. Was in Virginia. He is a cryptid. Have you seen the kid?
The skinwalker, actually. Yeah.
And, the last question I got from like mail-in questioning, I guess, is what goes on? What does it say? What goes on when the camera is turned off?
Honestly, just about the same stuff you see when the camera's on, just more of it, I would say.
Pretty unfiltered.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boredom. Like,
Yeah.
there's just a lot of sitting around, which is fairly active.
Yeah.
Typically, when the camera comes on, that's when stuff starts ramping up because we're trying to fight boredom.
Because then, like, there's not someone out of the group that's filming, so we're all directly involved. So it does tend to kind of hype up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely say that what you see on camera is extremely honest
Unfiltered,
for
raw.
what actually just happens there. Because, and I know a lot of you guys have asked in years past, is any of it scripted? We've done scripted stuff in the past, but 98% of it is like, that's literally just like documenting what happened during the event.
Or
Like,
we'll, like, in the moment, we'll just kind of quickly plan out a scene and run through that, and then anything that happens during that or after that just kind of
Improv.
happens. Yeah.
Well, another thing is too is sometimes we'll be so bored that we'll be doing stuff. Prime example, in past week videos, I can think of a couple. One was when I was in the head and we were the dirt bombs were coming in. Then that started just getting put on camera. Another one was David was running around in the bushes with his cap on backwards with the machete, and then all of a sudden the camera came on because of that. So
they don't. But see, I gotta find a way to release that stuff because they don't even know about that. We have that on DVD from 2015.
Yeah.
The only like slivers of footage from that is on the
trailer.
very first Kilo trailer that was posted when I first got on YouTube. But yeah,
I don't know where mine. I mean, you know what happened to the DVD copy I thought I had. That turned out definitely not to be that.
I think someone heisted
Someone,
you.
someone's very very disappointed in what they started watching.
All right, we're gonna move on to another sentient question, and again, it's not to ignore the people that's sending them in now, but
Well, they're
all I'm
just
gonna say is
selling
you had your
rocks
chance.
to each other in the comments, to be honest.
And this kind of goes into what we were just talking about. So pretty good one. What got us interested to portray the Vietnam War and Kilo Company specifically? We kind of talked about that just a few minutes ago with Josh's stepdad, Donnie, who was in the real Kilo 37. Some of us knew him from the 28th, and when he passed away in 2014, we were just starting to get into, there he is now, the man, the myth, the legend. We were just starting to get into Vietnam. We were like, you know what? We're going to portray his unit and dedicate it to him and all of his guys.
Yep. And then
Josh, anything you want to say on that?
go ahead, Josh.
What?
Anything else you want to add to that?
Oh,
Your stepdad.
yeah, basically it. You guys messaged me, told me you guys were starting this. Thought it was a cool idea.
Kip actually
Been
told
an
me I should
awesome
get
adventure ever since.
Did you know that? Kip told me that I should get you involved.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I remember Kip was drunk off his ass, and he kept harping us on that.
This is another guy who's in the 28th Mass, our Civil War unit, and knew Donnie and had met Josh before we did. And was like, "Yeah, you should get Josh involved. I think he'd really like it." I was like, "Yeah, Kip, all right, yeah, sure." But you know what? You have been a lovely addition, Josh, and I mean that almost wholeheartedly. All right, yeah. Yeah, honestly, that's probably the best way to answer that. While I type up the next one that has been sent in, does anyone else see some more from the live stream?
We'll kind of go around. What's everybody's favorite impression that they do? I mean, some of you only do like one or two, but
that's a loaded question.
It depends on how you're asking it. Like, my favorite looking impression, my favorite impression to go to events to, my favorite historical impression, like which one has, I think that all comes together. Because I mean, like, obviously my favorite one to go to events to is Vietnam. I think the best looking one is probably my German, and then my favorite one historically is I don't know, probably my Marine impression, I guess, just because I like that era of World War II.
My longtime favorite, just because I have so much like personal history with it, because like I started with Civil War and didn't really add on any time periods for like 3, maybe 4 years. So that like memory of the Civil War and like learning the history and getting into reenacting with that is so closely associated with my early or I shouldn't say early childhood, like the beginning of my teen years. And like the guys I met through it just influenced me so much into the person I am today. I would say like close to home, Civil War is probably my favorite just for that reason. But yeah, definitely German looks the coolest, I would say, because the uniform's just awesome looking. Viking is definitely the comfiest, though. I will say that, just because it's just loose clothing and it's like wearing PJs, man.
I mean, yeah, like it is a close tie with Russian.
Yeah,
because like medieval stuff, like that's like my first stuff that I was into was medieval, and it's just comfortable. It lays around next to a fire and just chill out.
Well,
Beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I remember you told me a few years ago that you were like, you came up to me and you're like, you know how like you feel about Civil War? Like that's how I feel like with Vietnam. Like that's just my place. And I was like, awesome, dude. So like, because you latched on to Vietnam hardcore when we first started. Like, this guy was all about it.
Yeah, I would say mine is definitely Civil War, but you know that again, just like Tyler said, that's kind of where I started. But I think now it's, if anything, I think I'm getting more into other time periods than I was even before that, because I think Civil War just opened my eyes to the whole community and the whole thing.
Yeah, and another question that somebody had asked was how to find reenacting units. it's
I
honestly,
Googled it.
yeah, it's like search engines are kind of nice because a lot of like units that have been around for a long time have established web pages and stuff that you can find. But other than that, it's kind of this inner circle that you got to get into. But once you find that first unit that knows other people, the options are just endless, because then it's like, yeah, I got a buddy that does this. I know someone that does this. And it's like, so
Well, like
it's,
even just speaking to that, like I mean, we basically all met each other through the 28th, and then the 28th has like a bajillion guys who do a bajillion units. So basically, you could find like just based off that one, unit, you could do 90% of the time periods you would want to get into.
yeah.
So it's kind of all about finding the right group of people and a group of people that you enjoy being around, because that's to me the most important thing. Like, if you're not having a good time, then you're just gonna hate it. So like, I mean, I think we all got lucky because we kind of fell into that, right away. But you might join 3 or 4 units before you even find like a group of guys that you like being around. So I think it's all trial and error, a big part of it. And I know a lot of these units, if they don't have a website, they have like a Facebook page. So you might be able to look through like Facebook or whatever and find units.
Well said, good man.
I do say so.
Where do you get all the sandbags from? Is there a website that has them for a decent price?
Well, at
Yes,
first we were using
there
horse
is.
bags.
Yeah, we because
Well, originally it was stitched. We hand stitched canvas.
That was early
Early on. Some of the sandbags along the watchtower are still up
The
there.
ones you made.
Yeah.
Actually. I'm surprised those things are still alive.
Kind of alive. But yeah, we have horses and chickens, so a lot of the bags you just turn them inside out, and it's a rough look, but it works. And then you found a great site.
yeah, the ones that you guys have probably been seeing most recently, all the green ones, that is a place I found on Amazon actually called Mr. Sandbaggy, I believe. And you can buy just like boxes. Garrett's gone. You buy just like boxes of either like 50, 100, 200, 300, or 500. Can't get 400. 3 or 5 for actually some pretty reasonable prices. I got a box of 500 for like, I think close to $100, which I mean, it's not bad. And we haven't gone through them all yet. We built the current swamp with them and have done some other stuff with them. So they are out there. You just literally, the internet's a great thing. You just sandbags, and then you'll probably find some somewhere.
Like Mr. Sandbaggy.
Like Mr. Sandbaggy. Man's a godsend.
Just make sure you have enough dirt. 'cause
Our John Shanahan wants to bring you to Ireland.
I'd love to.
Go to
Wants
some
to bring
Viking
us to
villages.
Ireland?
Want to come to Ireland?
Yeah.
I can bring you to some real Viking villages and houses. We have a history all over the place.
Oh my god. Yeah, Ireland's on my my travel list. Let's go to Ireland.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go right now.
All right, live stream's over. We're going.
All right, yeah, we're
Yeah,
going to
we're
Ireland.
going.
One guy is asking, are there any other Vietnam War reenactors you do events with and groups of reenactors?
Not yet.
No, not yet. I feel like we're pretty self-sufficient for the most part. We did just recently almost merge with that group, but their just standards for their unit were unrealistic. Like they were saying, like you're not allowed to join unless you own an M55 flag. You own all this stuff.
Which
and
I mean,
it,
to a
it's
degree,
right,
like
it's correct, but I
Yeah.
mean, you can't be expecting that right off the bat.
yeah, I mean their rules and stuff are understandable, but it's like I think we've gotten as far as we have because we started with semi lax standards, because it was understandable that some pieces of gear couldn't be acquired very easily. So you do like the bare bones minimum of like what is documented at any given time. And for a short time, we were a bit of a snowflake unit, and I hate using that word, but we were, with all the Alice gear and the M56 stuff, because it wasn't that widespread, especially with Marines. But we have since corrected a lot of that, and
Except for
it's
David
nice.
using his butt pack.
We're fixing that though. He was asking the other day about 782 straps. So
Yeah, as soon as I get new things and they'll reach all the way down to my belt, I can get rid of the field pack.
It's gonna be a sad day to watch him get rid of his butt pack.
it's a signature.
It's a
You might
staple
just
of
have to carry it in your cargo pocket, just so you have it with you.
Yeah, and then I'll jump out of the bushes with it when I run out of ammo and just beat somebody with it.
It's amazing what you can fit in cargo pockets.
Cargo
Wait till I
pockets
change
are a
my
magical
helmet
thing,
cover,
I'll tell you
too.
what.
But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, we've tried, contemplated the idea of mixing our unit with other units, but I mean, it's just a conflict of how we run our units at the end of the
And
day.
I think there's definitely the day you got to find a good group of people that will mix well, because like especially with a very small private event, you start mixing us like only a couple units. If they don't get along, it's just going to be a bad weekend for everybody. So I think a big part of it is just finding a unit that like clicks well with us and people that are very like-minded. Once we do that, I think you have some one hell of an event. Jimmy, you got any more questions that you got?
No, I already read all the ones I got from
Right.
other forums, and then no
Somebody
one's
earlier today, I think, was wondering if we were going to be at Collings this weekend doing Vietnam stuff, and that's a very easy answer, and the answer is no.
We're here right now, obviously not on our way to Collings.
It next year, I think we definitely will do or try to do some more public events like that, but the simple reason for it is that I have family obligations this weekend. Jimmy's back in North Carolina, so he can't do anything. And yeah, I mean, you guys are just twiddling your thumbs over there, but
I don't even know what that is.
We had a couple of
Yeah, I'm just a shitbag, so
yeah, we did.
No,
We
yeah.
had a couple public events lined up, but COVID shut those down real quick. One with the Wright Museum. There was a timeline event up in Maine we were going to do, and there was one more, but yeah, that all went to shit real quick.
I think you'll be doing the week.
Good.
Do you guys think you'll be doing the week event annually?
Say again your last?
Do you guys think you'll be doing the week events annually?
That's
anti-
usually the plan. The only reason
Well,
it
Yeah.
the
I think
only
it
reason
means
it
like
hasn't happened in the past couple of years is because, well,
it still happened, but
it happened.
1 year it happened as the big dump with basically just me and Tyler.
Because nobody showed up.
Nobody showed up, and then the next year we just didn't. We really didn't have a nom season at all.
Yeah.
how do you as a group feel about repro kit?
I think it's a great way to go. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah, I mean it's a good start at
You-
least.
you find decent repros, and I would definitely encourage people to use repro, like good repros, over originals, because though Vietnam stuff is very easily accessible now, one day that stuff's going to become rare, and there's going to be a whole mess of original Vietnam stuff that will have gotten destroyed over these years of reenacting and whatnot.
I mean, it's obviously a lot.
yeah. Also, you feel a lot. You don't feel as bad when you rip something that was reproduction versus when you just absolutely destroy an original, because that hurts. Hurts me anyway.
Like when
And,
Liam,
and,
hi,
and
Liam,
we're
if you're
kind of like the kings of breaking shit over here, so it's like it's not going to survive. So
Yeah. Liam
if
day
you're
one
using it,
breaks his
like,
boots.
yeah.
Things like your
Hi, Liam, if
blouse,
you're watching.
pants, and your boots and stuff, just get repros.
Yeah.
because-
like if I had original jungle boots originally, I would have fucking Like I would have
We go-
cried because I
we go through
completely
that.
destroyed my first pair. I melted the bottoms, so
We go
that
through
would
a
have
pair of jungle boots.
been a real tragedy.
There's just like no way around it.
Yeah. Repro uniform, definitely. Gear's usually pretty robust, so you usually get plenty of life out of that. But
And I don't know if anybody's making repro ammo pouches or anything.
yeah, and that's the other thing. But
There's
Yeah,
some
most vendors just stock
Yeah.
up on surplus and then sell it.
yeah, but definitely if your only option is looking at a tattered, weak original, don't use it. Save the history. Don't destroy it. If you find a repro that's good, by all means, please use that, because some decades down the line, all of us are gonna kick ourselves in the ass for destroying the original stuff when there's not as much left of it anymore.
Yeah.
So yes, repro good.
You got any questions oriented towards the week with anticipating, was it 10 minutes till the release? Start talking about the event.
That was a fun event.
Yeah, it was a blast.
We really started to begin to refine and make our events as accurate as possible. And it just makes it a good time.
What do you guys think about the week?
Well, I mean, I wish I just could have been there the entire time. I mean, like that's kind of the problem where I mean, at least I start to run into is like, when we first started, I didn't have a job and now I do. So that's kind of
Bag.
that can kind of become an issue now that wasn't one before. But it's still great that we're still out here doing it.
I thought it was funny, and I watched the other two week films today just to kind of reminisce. And I noticed, and I had noticed it before, but I'm kicking myself for not remembering this past one. Devin has never been interviewed.
He was
Really?
you interviewed him.
He's always like gone before we even think about it.
Yeah.
Or he arrives.
No, there was one, and I think the 2016 video where we staged the attack just to see how the new guys did, like when getting the base attack. And
That was earlier that year in
yeah,
2016.
David came down to him and he goes, "How'd you think of it?" He goes, he's like in the slums of the bunker, and he goes, "Well, I heard the shots and I ran out and I got my gear and I repelled the enemy." I was like, on.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
It's like the only interview he's ever had.
All I think about when I see Devin is just that peanut incident.
Oh, at Genesee.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How long did you say the week 2020 was, Tyler?
The runtime this year is an hour and 17 minutes from start to finish. Which last year was, or sorry, not last year. 2017 was an hour 43, and the very first one was an hour 36, I believe. So we're a little bit shorter this year because we had a camera malfunction. Not really malfunction, but the SD card got full, and I didn't think to bring another one. So the last day or so is missing from this year, but I think you guys will be very pleased with what is there.
Yeah. Judging by, I mean, obviously I don't think anybody's seen it. I haven't seen it yet. But judging by being there, it was definitely one of the top of week events that we've ever had, in my opinion.
Definitely.
And it was also good from having the same core group of guys for so long that we actually got to
Gonna premiere.
introduce new members. Like we had Liam there for the first time. We had Aiden there for the first time. So it was nice having new guys on deck instead of the same group of guys. I mean, not to say that being around you assholes is not pleasant, but I mean, it's good to kind of show
new blood is
outsiders how
good.
we interact with one another. Huh?
New blood is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Liam's a great
And-
addition. That's for sure.
Yeah, Liam clicked
Oh,
unbelievably well.
instantly. And then we
Instantly.
still have, what, 2 or 3 recruits that say they want to join that
Yeah,
But-
John might show up someday. Cody might show up someday.
Yeah, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah. And
VC.
for those of you,
You go,
for those of
Nick.
you out there that have contacted me recently wondering about joining, and I've told you like 18, that's just because we're trying to get more strict with our bylaws because we're quickly becoming a more established unit. Aiden isn't really a member. He's Jimmy's little brother, and he brought him in to kind of start his like training or whatever. I don't exactly know what he was thinking with it. I thought he was older than he was, and then Jimmy shows up and he's like, "Yeah, he's 13." And I'm like,
What?
"Go, yeah." So he just pretend he's not there. He like,
Just ignore.
I do, yeah. But yes, and any of you that are up and coming 18-year-olds, mostly for legal reasons, and you got a solid kit and everything, we'd love to have you aboard if you're in the New England area.
Yeah, it's kind of hard if somebody's in deep south or something.
Yeah.
Because it's not really worth the trip to come up for a weekend event.
If you're extra awesome, maybe 17 and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 minutes to premiere, lads.
Yep.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicholas A says VC eat shit.
Fuck
FYI.
you! Fuck you!
Has she been seeing all these her ally been talking shit
Yeah, you
this whole
got allies in the comment section, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Luke
can't
Solo-
see anything.
Luke Solo.
Aiden American Weakling VC overcome aggression.
VC overcome American aggression.
American weakling.
It's hard being a
Well-
VC when there's only 3 of you and you're attacking an entire fucking unit and you gotta like.
You guys did a great job this year, though.
No, they
It
did.
felt a lot more than 3. There was times where David and I were talking and we were like, there's no way there can be just 3 people out there.
Yeah, we thought you guys grabbed a couple more people.
Really? Well, I was.
You guys were everywhere.
Keith's here.
Yeah.
What, Keith?
7.
Keith, come on.
Keith, there's a lot of
Yeah,
stupid going on because you haven't been here.
Yeah, Keith, what the fuck?
Amazing.
He just joins and
Get
says
5'4"
7.
and like 18, and yeah.
7.
But keep the enthusiasm going. Don't let me.
Yeah.
Please do not be bummed about it just because.
Start collecting as much gear as possible.
And then when you're 18 or 17 and a half, love to have you on board. Don't let me telling you that you're not old enough kill your enthusiasm, because that's not my intention.
Yeah.
Also, just to throw this out there, like being under most units, even like Civil War and Rev War and stuff, usually it's like 16 is like the youngest end. They're gonna let you hold a rifle or anything.
And
But
some
just do
units are
keep in,
different.
yeah, but like just keep in mind that like for me, I joined when I was like 12, but I was like originally like a musician in the 28th before I was able to get a rifle. So that's just, if you're really, really into the hobby and you really, really want to get into it, that's always a way to go, just to keep that in mind.
Yeah, like you can, and with it's different for earlier time periods just because a lot of the military personnel back then were often a lot younger anyway, and it's different when you get into 20th century. Besides just having an authentic look, it's like there's a lot more dangerous aspects that are added on. Like with Newville, there's bomb craters, real barbed wire, all kinds of things you can trip on, and the weaponry gets a little more intense. So you being able to sign for yourself legally is kind of an important part for the event hosts. That's usually just what it comes down to. Keith says he's still stuck in Maine. Don't worry. I get my fill of stupid up here.
Okay.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, Keith, where are you, bud?
Where are you? I'm gonna come get you.
Right now. I'm gonna go get you.
You going?
We're gonna make him swing the other way.
We'll grab Keith and then go to Ireland.
We got what, 2 minutes? Is there any closing comments before?
Yeah.
It-
Does anybody have any closing comments before we watch this dog and
I
pony
have
show?
something I can say to you. Ba, 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 ba.
Ah, shut up,
Oh
Josh.
no!
Ba, 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 ba.
The most iconic.
I
Thing ever.
got rid of as much of it as I could, but you will still hear it in some of the battle stuff. So keep your ears open for Mr. Josh having
That's the
utter
Easter
attack in
egg.
the background.
Did you incorporate the return of a special character? Did you keep that in there?
Oh my god.
No, that is, well, one of the videos from that is in there, but the video that's dedicated to that character is going to be in a different video.
Very well. So keep
We're
that.
down to the last minute. I hope all you YouTubers out there and the fan base that we have built over the past 5 years, enjoy the show. This channel would not be the same without all of you guys, and we're all about staying with it as long as it entertains you guys, because it's what we love to do anyway. Closing comments, gentlemen.
I mean, all I have to say is I hope you all enjoy the week. I mean, obviously, I had a blast being there, so I hope you guys can have some sort of that excitement watching it.
It's been a
Very well.
blast doing this with you guys. Glad got to following with it. Be happier with the group we have. And Keith, you're an idiot for thinking it started at 6.
All right.